listen, this is why I did it, right? I literally did it because I thought it was going to be easy. I was like, oh, man, that collaboration exam, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. There's nothing else going to be any harder than that. I was like, all right, I'm going to do 6 months. I'm good to go. 6 months became 1 year. 1 year became 2 years. 2 years became 3. So you get to a point, it's like, I've put all this investment in. I need something in return. So you're just kind of trapped.
Yeah. Now there's no choice but moving forward.
There's no
backing
choice. No choice. Because if I quit, it's not like the collaboration, right? I did CCNA, CCNP, then CCIE, right? With the data center, I just went straight to CCIE.
For those that have been on my channel in the past, they know that I'm going to be bringing people on every once in a while. And, we'll go out and grab some food and we'll just talk and see about, people's journeys on the certification path and on the career path and everything else. So this is my buddy, Derrick Clarke. And Derrick went from a CCENT to a double CCIE with more than one CCNA, a CCNP, and all sorts of other things that he learned along the way as well. So in this one, we'll be talking about study methods, how he approaches it, because I gotta admit, man, you're like one of the most positive people I've ever met. I'm serious, dude.
You're making me blush.
So in scenarios where most people are like, this sucks, I really don't want to do it. I don't know if you have those thoughts, because from the outside looking in, it seems to me that you just are like, all right, let's go. Like that's what needs to be done. Let's do it. And you don't spend too much time worrying about what the hangups are going to be or how difficult the task is. And it's kind of just, how are we going to make it happen? So it's going to be a good one. This is going to be a good video. And Derrick, go ahead, man. Let us know, a little bit about you, where you're from, where'd you go to school, what was your degree, just a little bit about who Derrick Clarke is.
All right. Hello, everyone out there in the YouTube world. You guys are sitting on your desk. Hello. Thank you for spending that time to listen to what I have to say. Hopefully the message I give you, you take it. If you don't like it, throw it back. Use it. It's totally up to you.
A little more, though.
So I'll tell you a little about myself. I was born in Philadelphia, but both my parents are Jamaican. So I grew up in Philadelphia, went to high school there, obviously, and then eventually I went to Penn State University, where I got my college degree. In college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. They tell you, pick a major, and it's going to be your major for the rest of your life. Like, decide what you're going to do today.
Yep.
And you're just sitting there thinking 18 years old, you're just like, man, like, there's all these majors. Which one do I pick? They had like turf, like a turf doctor or something like that. Like, you can be a history, whatever it was. It was just very hard and difficult. So I just thought the easiest one for me was just pick business, because everybody wanted to be a businessman. You watch TV, you see people with business suits and ties. It's like, all right, let's do business. If I take a step back, probably 15 years ago, my brother used to like show me like a computer. Like, he opened it up. It was like the first time he ever showed me a computer. Like, he's like, oh, this is how you build it. I was like, oh, you can build this. So in college, even though I picked my major as business, I eventually evolved and start to take notice of what I truly want to do. And that little instance of me just being with my brother and he showed me that computer was really inspiring me. It's like, okay, maybe I want to do more computers. So I didn't change my major, but what I did, I picked a minor in like IST. I focused more on like technology and getting me more hands-on.
So what is IST?
IST was Information Sciences Technology.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was the gateway for that technology piece. So when I was in those classes, I learned a lot about like networking and Linux and all this other stuff that people talk about. And I had to, I think that kind of sparked something else. Like, I had like a fraternity, right? I was in a fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, and during this fraternity, one of my brothers came up to me and said, "Oh, you got to do Cisco. Like Cisco's is it. Like this is the best company ever." Da 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 da. And I had no idea, right? I had no idea what Cisco was. I was just curious, right? He was saying, I just remember his statement. He said, he's like, if you get the certification, once you graduate, somebody on stage is going to shake your hand and give you a job.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a pretty convincing statement.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, mind you, I knew nothing about what Cisco was.
Yep.
Like, what are you talking about? So I think after he said that, I was like, okay, let me see what it's about. I immediately went and ordered one of the CCNA books. It was ICND 1, right? And I read it from front to back. The first page was just, oh, this is how the internet works. You use it every single day, right? You go on Google, you go to YouTube, whatever it is, it's how the internet works. You interacted with it every single day. Yep. So things start to click. Like, I was reading this from front to back. This book had nothing to do with my classes. It had nothing to do with it at all. It was just something I was interested in. Yep. Then I was like, okay, let me just find videos that relate to it. And I eventually I came across this one guy. He was, I think, Christopher Bryan. He was a guy.
Bulldogs.
Yes, him. Yeah. I seen his videos, and he started showing the command line stuff. And I was like, oh, this is technical. This is technical. Like, oh, okay. I'm grooving with this. I like it. And then in college, at that time, I was like, okay, let me really show something for all this stuff I studied, right? It's all about having something tangible. And I think that theme is going to be said over and over throughout this conversation, is that when you're studying something, when you're doing something, you got to have something tangible to represent all the stuff you've done.
What you achieved, right?
When you achieve, even when you fail, whatever it is, something tangible has to come out of it.
Okay.
Whatever it is. So I took the opportunity, once I read the book front to back, I said, okay, let me go take the certification exam. And I failed.
How bad?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So I took it, I failed, but I knew that I could do it, right? And when you know you can do something and you're not getting the result, you just can't let that stop you at all.
Exactly.
You know you can do it, right? And some people will tell you otherwise, like they don't really know. Only you really do know what you are capable of.
Of course.
So you can't let that stop you, right? So I took the exam. Eventually I passed. And once I passed, and this is after like note cards, videos, packet tracing, over and over again. Note cards, videos, packet tracing, repeat.
Yep.
Note cards.
Lots of repetition.
Like over and over, so it becomes like you understand it. One of the things that he said, I think, you want to know something as much as you can teach it, right? If I pick up John Doe in the middle of the street, everybody knows him, but it seems like nobody can find him, right? If I found him, right, I should be able to teach him the 7 layers of the OSI model, right? I should be able to do that.
If you can't, you don't know it, right?
If I can't, I don't know it. And that's what the purpose of the exams were for.
Okay.
So I took the exams. Eventually I passed, I think my 3rd or 4th time. I don't truly remember at this time. It was like 8 years ago, maybe even 9. But I got my CCENT. And when you're in college and you're in a good university, you have all these career fairs, right? These career fairs, they have people that are dedicated to come to your school, to hire you. Right?
Yeah, they have quotas.
They have quotas.
They have that are open.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly.
You need a job, and they need an employer.
Exactly. Those people have a number they need to hit. They need to hire X amount of people. It's your shot.
Yep.
And it's your you have to be the person to come here, your best of your ability, suit, tie, like best resume. It's your responsibility to take advantage of those opportunities.
Absolutely.
You have to.
You gotta go to the job fairs.
Gotta what?
You have to go to the job fairs.
Yes, yeah. You have to. No question. There's no reason you should not be going to those job fairs.
Yeah.
Why? The whole reason why you're in college is to get a job.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Yes, you can party. Yes, you can do anything. Like, yes, you can enjoy yourself. You can get drunk, get found in somebody's basement or something. Like, you can do whatever you can do. The possibilities are endless. But
what's the end goal?
Do not forget the long-term goal and why you did it in the first place.
Yeah.
You are literally invested like $60,000, $50,000. Some people $100, $120, $200, $250,000.
Man, you're gonna start scaring people off of their grease.
I'm so like you ain't investing this.
We're gonna talk more about that.
We will.
By the way,
we will talk about it. But you're investing in all this money.
Yeah. You got to get a return on the investment.
You have to get a return. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you don't get a return, give me the money. Give them the PayPal and send me the money. Right?
Yeah.
I'll handle that investment for you. Like, give me the $100K, and then you continue to drop out. Like, there's students that just didn't do too well in college. It just never really clicked for me.
Yeah.
Because I guess it never really seen like it's a dollar effect, or never really understood until it was too late. But anyways,
so
I got the exam.
You passed the CCENT.
I went to the career fair.
To continue on the topic that we're talking about now,
yes,
about you have to get a job after college. I mean, you gotta make that return on investment. So where did you get a job out of college?
Okay, so in between those college, every summer I was always trying to like get an internship, right?
Okay.
I feel like that was the easiest way to get a job after college.
The work experience, right? They always say you need X amount of years of work experience, right?
Yeah. You need work experience.
You get that without the job.
You can't get a job.
Internship is what was your way in?
That was definitely the way in, because it shows that you are capable of doing something, right?
Yep. You
can go to a beach house the whole summer, or you can go get a job and get some experience, right? Don't forget about the end goal. My end goal was always to get a job out of college. That's what it was. Yes, I had fun. I had a phenomenal time. I have a magnificent time. Like, I look back at it today, like, it was the best times of my life. But you can have the best time of your life and still get the job done.
Yeah, don't forget.
It's not just one or the other. Like, you have to have, work hard, play harder. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I went to the career fair. I passed the exam, and I really, this was like the first time I was really like feeling myself. Like, I made it. Right?
Okay. All right.
I had this new shiny piece of paper, certification, and I just knew that like everybody else at this career fair did not have that certification. So I'm literally sitting there like smiling. Oh, I'm like I felt like I was at a buffet line.
Yeah, the world is your
yes,
answer,
and
right?
I could pick any single company that I can work for, no matter what it was.
They got to tell you why you should choose them.
Yes, exactly. Like, that's what it was. Like, I was lost for words.
Yeah.
That's how I truly felt, because I passed. So, with that said, I had interviews. And one of the people I talked to was Cisco.
Okay.
Right? There was a lady sitting at the front, and there was a guy sitting at the front. And I told him, like, hey, I'm interested in Cisco. I took the certification. And I was like, they was shocked almost. Like, oh, what? You got your certification in college? Like, remind you, I didn't take no certification. There's no classes for me to take the certification in my college, right?
Okay.
At the time. It's probably changed now. And when I was talking to, like, my IT professors and the people I was working for in those organizations, they was like, CCIE, what? What is that?
They weren't even familiar.
They didn't know. No one knew. It was just, I just wanted to shake that guy's hand at graduation to get that job.
Oh yeah. Did you start to kind of become a little concerned that this one person told you can get a job at high school, out of college, on the stage, and then nobody else knew about it? Did that at all cross your mind?
No, because the material was so interesting. Because I knew it's something that we do every single day.
Oh yeah, the internet's not going anywhere.
And whether that person didn't know about it, I just knew it was important. Just by how much time I put in, how difficult it was, it was worth
you were gonna get the return on investment.
Had to. It wasn't even like if I just had to.
Yeah.
So I talked to the lady at the career fair, and she said, "Oh, we really like you as a candidate, but you don't graduate in time." So,
you missed the opening for the position.
Yeah. So, which wasn't a bad thing. She said, "Keep in touch," because I think I was a junior, and it was looking for seniors so they could start work, start the program.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it because I was a junior, right? How am I starting a program if I'm still in college? And I said, okay, I was like, all right, that's not a bad thing. So I took her by her word, right? She said, keep in contact with her. I'm just the type of person, if somebody said they're going to do something, I expect you to do it. Yeah. Like, if you say, all right, meet me here and I'll give you $1,000, like, okay, what time you want to pick you up?
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Yeah.
So when she said that, I said, okay, I take note, took her card, and continued going on the list of what else I wanted to work for. I got another internship, and then after that internship, I went to back to school, of course, and then I was looking for her. I was looking for the same career fair, the same lady, because she said she's going to be back. I was like, all right, this is it. Like, this is still on my mind. I went to the career fair, and she wasn't there. The company was there, but she wasn't there.
Yeah, they sent different people.
Yeah, they sent different people. And I went up to the guy that was there, and he basically, he's like, we're not hiring for this role that I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang. Dang. But I didn't take it as a loss. I took her by her word, and I was like, all right, let me find out where she's at. Like, let me find and contact her. I sent her an email. I said, hey, I'm so-and-so from last time we met. I was looking for this opportunity, but it's not here. And is this opportunity still open, or where do I apply? Something like that.
Yep.
So she was like, oh, yeah, hey, hi, I remember you, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, it's not available here, but here's a link to apply.
Okay.
She gave me the link.
All right.
It was a new link. If I didn't keep in contact, I would never got the link.
Lost it.
It would have been in somebody's trash bin. And I applied, and I was able to get an interview.
For Cisco.
Okay. Now, this interview was important because all the stuff that I studied at the time was on the interview, right? So it was just like second. I crushed it.
Oh yeah.
I crushed it. I was like, man, this is it, because it's a big company, Fortune 500, right? Every time I'm in college, I'm looking at Glassdoor. I'm trying to figure out what companies is doing what is an interesting company to work for. How can I better myself? How can I be a better candidate? All the above. And I did the interview, and I did great, obviously. And then eventually, I got an offer, and the offer said, basically, you have 3 weeks to move to North Carolina.
Yeah. From Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And I was like, well, guess I'm going to North Carolina. And now I'm here.
Yeah, man. So, something that, what all you were just saying made me think of something that, a lot of people say, oh, you were just lucky, or you got lucky. And a lot of folks, when they say that, they don't understand that luck is a combination of preparation and opportunity.
Yes.
Right. And so you did all the preparation and the follow-up and all that other stuff. And the opportunity was that, hey, although that old job isn't available anymore, this new job is.
Yes.
Right. And so that's where luck comes. That's what luck is. Preparation and opportunity coming together. And now you're ready to execute against that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Right. So I remember when you and I started at Cisco the same day in the same program. Mm-hmm. Right. And one day I had asked you if you had your CCNA yet, because I knew that I knew nothing. I knew you knew something. I didn't know how much you knew. So I was like, hey, do you have your CCNA? And without skipping a beat, you were like, yep. And maybe like a couple days later, it became obvious to me that you didn't have your CCNA. And I was like, I thought you said you have a CCNA. And you were just like, in my mind, I do. Right? And you've always been that way, right? And that's something, I mean, to be honest, I look at you as as a form of motivation. I mean, you motivate me, you motivate other people. I don't think that Dan and I would have went for the CCIE if it weren't for having known you and seeing how you went through it, right? So we talked about some of the stuff on here. We talked about your background. We talked about getting a job at Cisco. And now this is really, we're segueing into the next one about getting certificates, right? I always highlight the importance of having a mentor when you're going for a certificate, especially the CCIE. But as far as I can tell, I don't think, given the story that you just told, I don't think you had much of a mentor going for the CCENT. I know for the CCNP, you, Dan, myself, and I think Jason were all studying for it at the same time, but we weren't like meeting and sitting down together and doing it together. Not really. And then I think for the CCIE, you were just out there in the wild on your own.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I am even more amazed because I leaned on you, I leaned on Kaiser, I leaned on Dan for just when I was having difficulty navigating certain situations. Plus, I leaned on so many other people intact, right? For just an ear, right? To say, like, look, this is what's pissing me off. And, like, for you, there were a lot of times where you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right? So when you were going for the CCIE, like, just tell me about when you decided to go for it, why you decided to go for it, and just walk me down the path of, like, day one studying for the CCIE collab to being certified. Okay. Like, let me know about, I know you had, like, pretty much damn near broke the bank.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And so, just all of that, let me just know about all of that.
Okay, so, it starts from the beginning, right? I'm trying to remember this as best as I can, because it
was a while ago.
This is like 7 years ago. So once I came on the team, right? Once I came on Cisco, I passed my CCNA, right? And then, okay, so I was like, all right, what's next, right? Now, the certification in my eyes was a way to really understand how well you're doing in this field. For me, like the skill sets I need to learn to become a professional at the time, the skills I need to learn to become an expert, right? It was an agenda, right? You go to school, you get a syllabus, and they say at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, you're going to learn this. And I felt like the syllabus was the blueprint for all the certifications.
Yeah, like, okay, structured path forward.
Exactly, a structured path for me to succeed. Like, it didn't become as, like, I wanted to do it. I just thought you just had to do it. Like, if you wanted to be successful, if you wanted to be the best person you could be, complete these tasks, and you'll be the best person you can be. All right? So, that's when I started to do the CCNP stuff, right? Started studying CCNP stuff, and, probably failed, like, I don't know, 15 times each single time.
Because there was 5 exams for us back then.
Yes. I failed miserably.
Oh, yeah.
But when you know you could do something, you just got to do it. Like, when we talk about mentors and stuff, at the time, I didn't really have a mentor. I would say I was my mentor, because I always remember, like, when you play, like, when I played Mario Kart back in the day, right? And we don't have your friends around, you just play by yourself. And this mode that you have, you play trial.
Okay.
And trial is like, we go around the race one time, and then the next time you're going around the race, this is shadow, this is ghost.
Oh, you're racing yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the ghost of who you are, right?
Yeah.
It's the ghost of what you did before. And I've always pictured my life as that. Like, I know there's like some ghost of me saying that, like, you can really do this. This is your full, like, this is where you can become. You're not reaching your full potential. Why are you not doing the stuff that you need to do that?
Yeah, kind of internal dialect kicking yourself into gear.
Exactly. Because I know the ghost have done it. He's already there. You know, I could do it. I just need to know how and figure it out,
and then do it better on the next go around, which would have been your CCIE data center, right?
Yes.
But so you got your MP. So for me, when I got my MP, it was 2 or 3 years between my MP to my even starting my IE studies. Mm-hmm. I mean, technically, I was studying the whole time along, so it all rolled up into it. But it was 2 or 3 years before I officially said I'm going to go for the CCIE. You, I think, rolled right into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, did you set up a lab?
So, let me actually answer your previous question before I get to there. When I decided to take my lab or take the certification as like CCIE certification and go on that path, I decided because I reached a point in my role, because all the stuff I was studying, right, it was relevant to my job at the moment, right? And I just felt that it was getting really repetitive.
Okay.
Like I would do the same thing.
Tapped out.
I tapped out.
Yeah.
Like I was doing the same thing. I can solve every case that I've seen back of my head.
Pulling levers and twisting gears, right? It wasn't
exactly. It was just
no
like
progress.
Easy. So I needed to challenge myself. I need to find a way. How can I find the next level? What is the next level? What does the next level look like? And the CCIE was it. That was the next level, right?
Okay.
You learned this because one important thing about the CCIE that people don't talk about, when you talk to another engineer and some engineers may like the CCIE, they may not. You know, you get a mixed crowd.
A lot of times it depends on whether or not they achieved it.
Whatever the case may be, right? But you always got to remember why it was created in the first place. It's created so the people that's not in this industry can know how much value you can add to the company.
Okay.
Right? If my boss, he's in charge of money. He's in charge of how much to give you as a salary. He's in charge of your well-being, right?
He doesn't know what a packet is.
He doesn't know what a packet is.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So how does he know that you are more valuable than John Doe? Yeah. John Doe hasn't been to work.
Yeah.
Where is John Doe?
He still doesn't know the OSI model.
He don't know. Where is he at?
So that was your motivation for hopping in and saying, I'm going to go for it. You needed that sort of furthering your intellectual growth, your technical expertise, right? That stimulation you weren't getting from work. Mm-hmm. And then also because, what's one of the main reasons for working? Money.
Yeah.
And so, you need to be able to hold something up and say, this is why I'm worth your money.
If you went to a doctor and he doesn't have a degree, you're gonna be concerned, right?
Yeah, I'd be a little bit concerned.
You'd be like, you supposed to give me open heart surgery, and you don't have your GED. Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? So, once I made the decision, it's very important that you have a plan, right?
Yep. Did you have a plan though? Because you were in the CCIE, as far as I am concerned, you were in there from, especially like out of the gate alone. Yes. And there was nobody else in our group that was going for it. So did you have a plan? Like, what was your plan?
My plan in the beginning was to have a plan.
Okay.
To make a plan.
All right.
That was the first step.
And how did that unfold?
So when you don't understand something, you have to ask around, right? You got to ask, like, people who has the certification, like, is it possible? Is it worth it? I just remember I was talking to all of you, like, is it worth it? Like, I'm putting all this time in. A lot of people ask that. Yeah, is it worth it? Should I do it? What do I gain from it? Just learn more about the certification. I heard that, people are out here, they're risking their lives taking the certification.
Yeah, risking their marriages
and everything.
Yeah, people talk about getting divorced.
Yes. Yes. So
some people just...
So I had all these questions.
Yeah.
I asked all these questions, like,
Well, you got 2 now, so I assume that you found your answers.
Yeah, I did find my answers, for sure.
It was worth it, huh?
Yeah. So so that's how I made my plan. So, like, all right, Cool. Like, is it worth it? I just need to know the why. I just need to remember what the why was. And then eventually, I sat down. I had to write out a plan, because you got to remember, when you're working in an organization, whatever it is, there's always like an agenda. You have to fulfill some requirement to make the horse move forward, right? If you work in an organization, if you're in like a cash register, right? If you're just a cashier, you may think like, okay, man, this job is just count the money, put it in the pot, blah, 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 blah. You're doing over, you just forget about the big picture. The big picture is, if you're not there, that organization is not going to have money, and you're not going to have a job, and no one's going to have a job in that organization. That thing is important.
Yep.
So, I say all that is that it's like you have to know what the end goal is. Always remember what the end goal is, because you can get lost on the journey doing other things, going to so many different rabbit holes, and discover that you wasted your time.
Which is part of why it's important to have a mentor, to help you avoid those pitfalls and those rabbit holes and keep you on the track forward.
Exactly.
Because now with you, a lot of people, they want to know the one quick trick to get X, Y, or Z. Like, how can I get there fast? How can I do this? And I remember with you, you were all about the scars.
Yes.
Right? And so,
scars.
What I've said in another video that I did was that a good mentor will help you avoid certain pitfalls and certain distractors, but allow you to get scarred on others because you need it.
Yeah.
You have to have it. So, one of the things that I help people with is finding the quality study resource, right? Like Collab Cert, BOSUN, if you're going for NA stuff, INE for deep dive, really good stuff, right? So they help you get on the right track early on, but they let you burn and learn when you should burn and learn, right? So I fully understand what you're saying. I 100% agree with all of that, right? You got to stay the track, understand the end goal, right?
You do. So there's a lot of stuff that happens outside the exam to prepare. So I didn't really have a mentor at the time. So what did I do, right? I read a lot of books. I may not be able to read like every single day, but I had audiobooks as I was driving,
Yep. Okay.
So books that kept me focused, right? It was like one good book, like how Make It Stick, right? That book teach you how to learn, right? You're doing this whole learning process of how to take this very complex problem and get the certification, right? That book was important in my journey.
Make It Stick?
Yes, Make It Stick. There's another book, like, I can go down the list, right? But basically, what helped me out is to have a plan, right? Sit down and write out the plan, saying, okay, I'm going to go watch all these videos. Week 1. Week 2, I'm going to apply those videos in my lab. Week 3, I'm going to build my lab. Week 4, I'm going to watch the videos again. It has to be written out to the T. Like, it has to be written out every single time. Every time you think about something, you have to write it out. It has to be there on paper. And steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Right? And eventually you'll get there. But the biggest thing when people fail is when they fall, they don't get back up.
Absolutely.
And throughout the journey, you're going to fall so many times. When I mean fall, I mean fall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going to feel like, because it's not just you, right? If you're married, if you're single, if you're...
everybody has mom and dad,
right? Family, whatever it is. You're doing this, you spend all this time, somebody's going to suffer, something's going to happen in your life. Like, what are you going to do to recover from that? Are you going to make an excuse and just stop? Or are you going to continue? Are you going to give all you got? Are you going to get that tangible thing?
Yep.
Or are you just going to sit and stop doing it?
I mean, you ran all the way down to the point, because I remember, how many attempts did you take for the CCIE? 4?
Yeah, 4.
And I remember asking you, like, would you have went a 5th time if you failed? And you were like, I wouldn't have been able to.
No.
And I said, why not? And you said, I spent my last bit of money on that 4th attempt. I would have had to wait and save it up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And I remember you telling me that. I was like, man, this dude was fully committed. He went all his savings and everything into it. Because, I mean, I think you went and did Collaboration 360.
Yep.
And I think you studied a lot of other stuff. You built your own lab out and everything.
Yep.
You put it all in. And then, eventually you learned about CollabCert, which, I also, like you, used a lot of different study materials.
Mm-hmm.
I learned quality things from each one.
Yes.
But when I mentor somebody that's going for their CCIE collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, you'll learn a lot from this or this or this or this. But the burnout rate for the CCIE is high. And so your best bet is to go for this, which is CollabCert.
Yeah.
Right?
So
avoid that burnout rate.
So it was 2008, right?
Okay.
Sorry, 2016.
All right.
And I'm a huge basketball fan, right?
Okay.
So this is the year when LeBron James, the Cavaliers against the Warriors, right? And this was the year that they beat them 4-1 when the series is 4-1.
Okay.
Right? Or I'm sorry, 3-1. Golden State up 3. LeBron James had to do the most craziest thing to get to win the championship. Right?
Okay.
This is something that has never been done in history. Right? Long story short, they actually won the chip. They achieved all odds. They won. And then I remember this one interview. He was like, the guy talking to him, was like, "Hey, LeBron, so what did you do to overcome this challenge?" He's like, "Man, I put in the work. I did what I did, and I sat down and I watched The Godfather. The Godfather, the whole series, The Godfather.
The whole series, huh? You think he would be focusing on, watching replay clips or something?
Yeah, but I took it as he done everything he can possibly do.
Okay.
There's always an end, right? If I ran all the way up into Florida, I'm in North Carolina right now, and I ran all the way to Florida, eventually I'm going to crash.
Okay.
You get to a point when you reach your max, you're absolutely max. When you reach that max and you feel like there's nothing else you can do, and whatever you do is going to be harmful for me, then that's when you need to focus on something else, on relaxing that mind. Maintain that endurance rate, or maintain that endurance, and then
the enthusiasm, right?
Maintain it, because if you do nothing, it's a go away, right? Regroup, watch something else, and that's what I did. And eventually I I passed my first attempt. But it was difficult because, like I told you earlier, I said I want to have something tangible. And when I took the attempt, it's hard, right? It's $1,600, right? It's expensive. It's literally like a game of high stakes poker, right? You're betting it all on this one shot, all right? You know all the odds. You know you got aces in the hole, but sometimes they get cracked.
Yeah.
So my third attempt, I was like, man, dang, I was so close, I failed. What am I gonna do? I was lost. And throughout the whole process, I'm only lost and scared when I don't know what my plan is. I think that's probably the only part where
I was looking at
I need to regroup. I need to regroup when you don't know where to go.
Exactly.
Because it's all about a plan. You have to have a plan.
That's where the stress really starts kicking
That's
up.
when it starts kicking in. Because it's this ticker, this time bomb.
It's the unknown.
It's still ticking.
The lack of direction.
This timer is ticking. The exam's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
You got to figure something out.
I hated that thought.
You got to figure something out. And that's when I was lost. So that's when you start to going outside. You're doing the same thing. You're studying every day. Clearly it's not working. What can you do? Find somebody you can talk to. It could be somebody that's not even related to even your industry. Talk to them about a process. How can they help you, or how do they overcome a difficult task in their work? Just really try to get to know them, right? And eventually, something will just click. It's like, oh, when this doctor was trying to study to be open heart surgery, he watched The Godfather and became like, you know?
And then he became a champion. He won the championship.
I swear it could be anything, but I mean, the thing is, like, don't give up.
Exactly.
Just don't.
You passed your CCIE collaboration, and that was how many years ago? It was like
2016, so 4 years ago.
Yeah, so 4 years ago. And then just last year, like the end of last year, you passed your CCIE data center. What was that, November sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
so
3,000 more harder.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to talk to you about the comparison of the different exams and all of that, and you know we know CollabCert is the best study resource for the CCIE collaboration without compromising the legitimacy of your certification, right? We can talk more about the data center stuff here in a moment, but one of the things that you really shocked me about, because when I passed my CCIE collaboration, I honestly, like, I went into like a slump. Like, I didn't want to do technology. I started looking into doing management. I just felt just done with it. You know, I was thinking about technology 24/7. I didn't want anything to do with it. But I asked you, like, hey, man, you know, 3 years went by. So I figured that you started studying for that CCIE data center maybe like a year and a half after you passed your CCIE collaboration. When I asked you, when did you start studying for the CCIE data center? You had told me the day after I passed my CCIE collaboration. I was like, this guy is a freaking hoss. Like, this dude's in beast mode. So, I mean, how what'd you say?
It was dumb. I tell you,
it's dumb to do that, you think so?
Listen, this is why I did it, right? I literally did it because I thought it was going to be easy. I was like, oh, man, that collaboration exam, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. There's nothing else going to be any harder than that. I was like, all right, I'm going to do 6 months. I'm good to go. 6 months became 1 year. 1 year became 2 years. 2 years became 3. So you get to a point, it's like, I've put all this investment in. I need something in return. So you're just kind of trapped.
Yeah. Now there's no choice but moving forward.
There's no choice.
Out.
No choice. Because if I quit, it's not like the collaboration, right? I did CCNA, CCNP, then CCIE, right? With the data center, I just went straight to CCIE. So if I just failed or didn't even pass, I wouldn't have nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that guy right there. Oh, there go John Doe. He knows data center. There's nothing different between me and that guy.
Yeah.
So that's why I went for it.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to talking. We're going to stop to get some lunch real quick. We made it out here to the Redneck Barbecue Lab, which somebody recommended to me, and somebody else watching these videos had recommended another spot out in Durham. So if you know any spots out here in the Research Triangle Park area that you'd like to recommend, let me know, and we'll check them out in the videos as well. But for now, we're going to stop this one, and we'll circle back to it when we come back.